content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
পেজ তো ইয়া হয়নি,
আপনি শুরু করেন, আমি আস্তে করে দিচ্ছি।
Viewers in America, around the world, this is Tofadar Noor from our Millennium News Studio, City of New York. Our program names The Editorial. We have a few guests, local, international, and we have a co-host, Mr. Todd Goldfinger. Mr. Todd, welcome to Millennium News 24 and The Editorial. How are you doing and all of our guests?
Very wonderful, sir. And I want to say a happy, holy month of Ramadan to our brothers and sisters as well out there. Thank you. Oh, we have some wonderful guests today.
Could you get into introduction the all guests, please?
Absolutely.
Please.
From the lovely US of A, Morgan. And from
Your
the
sound
lovely-
is not coming clear, slow.
Okay, so we have from India, Santos Kumar
Yeah.
as well. So we have an all-star cast today to talk about global politics in Millennium Editorial.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you very much. You know, in the world, we are, as a human being, we respect all religious, all color, all race, all everyone. Christianity, Judaism, Buddhist, Hindus, Muslim. In this planet, so many religious we are right now. And this world, our leaders, very good leaders in this planet, they are arms and fight so-called fundamentalist and religious. So today we're going to talk about these things. And today is the one of the largest religious in this planet, Muslim, Islam, Muslim. And today is the first day of the Ramadan. Happy Ramadan to all brothers and sisters in this planet who are fasting for sacrifice and God gifted religious, whatever we are. Happy Ramadan. Mr. Todd and all our guests on the panel. Millions of people hunger. They don't have a food. And so-called country of Palestine, city of Gaza, millions of people without food, without water, they are fasting. So our leaders in this planet, they are talk, they don't do any job. So Mr. Todd, you're going to start. What's going to be happen? We are investing, fighting billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. And America is minus now almost 34 trillions for behalf of fundamentalists and world politics. What is going on, Mr. Todd?
Well, what's going on is we have a tremendous homelessness problem here in our own country.
Say
And
loudly. I don't know why your sound is coming slow.
okay, let me check the mic. Okay, let's see here. Okay. There's a tremendous problem with homelessness in our country that with all this money being sent out for foreign wars and things like that, we should be helping our own. We should have better infrastructure. We should have a lot of better things, better education, refund the police, reproductive rights, things like that. And I'd like to open up the floor to Morgan and Santos as well, if they'd like to
Yeah,
add anything.
please. Same question. Okay.
Morgan?
Oh, well, I think that
Morgan, introduce yourself, please.
interview. My name is Morgan. Um, I am not a specialist in anything, but I am an observer of everything, and a long time thinker on matters of global importance, and how this mess has grown, because it is not an organic mess. I don't think. Um, I think what we find ourselves in is a constant game of playing sides against sides and the same rhetoric, regardless of the country or the religion that is backing the country. It's all rhetoric because the end result seems to be the same, which is there's a huge, tremendous amount of people out there, I feel, who just want to live a good life. There, and a very small amount of people who really want to wreak total havoc. And the small amount of people, because they're vocal or they have the control of the means to amplify their voice, seem a lot bigger than they really are. And really, what people want is just to get on with it. And no one is looking to hate anybody else, regardless of what they look like or what God they pray to, what religion they follow. Most people don't have time to be invested so much in hating someone else. They're too busy trying to pull their own lives together because it's not easy right now, and it keeps getting harder. And like Todd says, in our particular country, in the United States of America, they are shipping trillions of dollars that don't exist. They print this stuff up at the Federal Reserve. It's all ones and zeros. This money doesn't exist, but the weight of the debt of the money gets put on our backs, and all of that funding goes overseas to fund wars that are almost definitely, playing hands against hands. I don't think there is ever a truly good guy and a truly bad guy. It is painted that way because to speak to large amounts of people, you need a very simple message. That's why politicians speak in like little lines of type. They don't actually address complicated issues in the complicated manner that they have grown from, and the solutions are complicated. They speak simply because that's how masses of people understand. I think the more people you get together, the lower the IQ goes. When you talk one to one with someone, you can have a very complicated and subtle conversation. When you talk to a mass of people, the ability to critically think and the intellect level goes way down, and you call it dumbing down the message, but that's also a means of control. And I think that that's kind of what we're looking at is you have very complicated geopolitical issues going on that do not have clear solutions. Maybe if you're on one side, of course, if you're on the side of Israel, then you just get rid of Palestine or whatever it is, or vice versa. It's a clear issue to them. To the Russians, you get rid of Zelensky, and you and the Ukraine. That's a clear issue to them. But the people outside of that, it's not clear because of what's created that condition. So what I'm saying is that we keep funding these conflagrations around the world, and in our own country, everything is going to hell in a handbasket because all of the brunt of that do-gooderness which isn't really do-gooderness. I mean, it's all corporatism. It falls on our backs, and then people can't afford to buy food. You can't buy a house. I mean, it's gotten really, and it's going to continue to get worse because they prioritize spending over a strong fiscal house. I'm all for let's have a nice program where we can fund homeless people and medical treatments and stuff like that. But you can't do that on a shaky foundation of your financial house. So it's a mix between the conservative and the liberal point of view. You got to start from a strong foundation. If you have an empty bank account, you can't go spend the money. It just doesn't happen like that.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Excellent answer. Your analysis, views, our viewers in America and around the world, they have to respect. You are talking about humanity. You are talking about human being. And you are talking about our political bubble jeopardize. Thank you, my brother. We are appreciate that from our network. Mr. Santosh Kumar from all the way India, Bihar. How are you, my brother?
Yeah, I'm good, Mr. Noor. How are you doing?
Thanks to top man. We are live, we are working for the peoples in America and peoples in the world.
Yeah,
Our question is today is the first Ramadan and
yeah.
millions
Happy
of people
Ramadan.
in hunger and our politician investing for fundamentalist, right wing, left wing, so called bubble. Do you have any kind of explanation or any kind of idea what is our government should do?
Yeah, definitely. I had traveled a lot out of India, and before moving to United States, I was hoping that the things are very different from a developing country like India, where we face the homelessness, rapid urbanization, corruption, and many other challenges. But after moving over there, I realized the things are almost the similar. Like in the terms of like, of course, US is one of the most developed country, but it was really disheartening to see that the many of the people were not able to meet the basic needs for their life. So it's very important for our leaders to bring a sustainable development and provide the basic necessities and have a very different vision in the 21st century, because still we are fighting over the very, very small things like the home and the food and the basic necessities for a good quality of life. Our leaders need to evolve their thoughts, bring more thought leadership to address the problem of the people and devise policies which are sustainable to coexist in the like in the society. We bring more nature and more development, and we don't want a development that is at the cost of our planet. The global like the terrorism that is happening, or the we are facing the global warming is also a very big concern over the time. So we need to devise, and leaders have to have their voice, that they really want to address those changes and bring those on the ground level.
Thank
Thank you,
you, my
Santos.
brother. We are appreciate that. Mr. Todd, your platform, please.
Excuse me. Yes, I think the common person doesn't want war, just like Morgan was saying. Excuse me. And it seems like, well, we're gonna have a choice in November, right? Or
Do we really have a choice?
that's the question.
Well, I think to Kamar's point, I think it's a shame that when the countries that are massive in land and human potential and resources such as Africa and India get destined to be their entry into the world market is in, you see like people scrounging for like scraps, and they get polluted industries. I mean, you can go back to is it
Yeah.
Bhopal, the Union Carbide disaster, and that stuff is commonplace in these countries because again, human beings, you have corruption in the higher power structure. The same people that made the continent of America like twice the size of Africa on a map, which is not correct. It's these people think in a way that is you know Eurocentric. Like it's these countries, the white European countries, and need to be the ones in charge of these other countries, and they're not allowed to rise on their own strength and power and be equal competitors. Now that changes a little bit when a country like Pakistan and India become a nuclear power. They have a little bit more bargaining chips, but for the most part, when it comes to getting into trade, it seems they are really kept on a leash, even by some of the leaders of their own country, and that creates just a chain of misery where you have all these precious minerals that are being mined for the new EV cars and the batteries, and the disaster that is an environmental disaster from these open pit mines. And meanwhile, at the end chain where the consumer buys the car, they think they're doing something good for the environment. But they
Yeah.
have to actually go back
Yeah.
and look at the beginning of the chain and see this is way worse than a gas powered car. So it's this disconnect between the Western mind and the leaders, and then the people that are actually doing the hard labor. It's even in an age of information like this, where I can sit in my kitchen in Georgia and talk to Nur and Todd in New York and Kumar in India over a phone. This is amazing technology. Even with this, there is still an incredible disconnect between the peoples that allows the people who benefit. It's all profit, right? I mean, you wouldn't be doing this stuff if there wasn't money to be made, and it allows them to keep a separation where people are allowed to see each other in a negative point of view, and they feel okay fighting each other or saying, well, that's they can go dig those mines. It's not my job. I'm an American, or whatever it is. It's very denigrating and unnecessary. And I think we really need to start seeing everyone across the world as equals in our own power. We're all human beings, whether you're American or Indian or Pakistani or from Vietnam. We're all human beings, and we all have a right to live a life that is unburdened from fear and strife and war and overt sickness and polluted drinking water. And it's possible. It's possible, but you got to get the people that are going to profit off your misery out of the way. You know.
Amen.
Yeah.
Santos.
Yeah, definitely. We have so much of advancement in the terms of the science and the technology, and still we are not able to do a cost benefit analysis in the terms of like what are the benefits we are going to get and what are the side effects of the policies that we are implementing. Whether it's respecting the borders of your neighboring countries, or causing some kind of human casualties because of some superpower. We have to have such kind of a framework, whether it's on the global level or the national level or the state level. So that is the most important thing that is required by our leaders to have a vision that reflects the kind of the change that they want to incorporate in the society in the terms of sustainable coexistence. Because nowadays the younger generation wants the development, but at the same time they also want to balance their work life balance. They want to have a harmony in a society where various cultures can come and coexist and can foster in the same way, where the other major cultures are growing. So it should not be on the paper like something that you have been given some rights, but it should be supported by the society, by our top leaders. Only then we will be able to see a change that we want to bring in.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, my panel. Morgan and Mr. Kumar. We are going to short break. Please stay with us. Viewers in America, around the world, please stay with us. Viewers in America and around the world, please watch the editorial every single week. Our New York studio. This is Tafadar Noor. Please watch all iOS and Android device and all smart TVs and Apple, Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Globally, we are on Horizon Satellite. And we have another platform called podcast. You can watch live and you can watch our videos, subscribe, whatever you are. Our website millenniumnews24.com, millenniumtv24.com. Please watch the editorial. We're going to bring your voice, your rights, your vote. Politics, religious, multicultural, multi-religion. Thank you. Stay with us.
नहीं नहीं बहुत ज़्यादा स्पाइसी निकल रहा है पीछे से शायद स्पाइस
अरे दवाई नहीं खाए ना।
Thank you very much, guys. One of the crucial question came in AP, Reuters, our mainstream media, Fox, Newsmax, MSNBC, CBS, and CNN, all new special counsel, Mr. Robert Hur from Justice Department, investigating our president, current president, his wrongdoing for government documents, government office, so many confidential documents. But lot of Democrat, they are thinking is not right. Mr. Morgan, what do you think?
Well, I think the fact that there was so many people, mostly the Muslim population of Michigan, voting uncommitted in the Democratic primaries, really kind of underlines the fact that this is a sinking ship. My personal opinions on politics aside, just what I can observe, the people that want to continue running the resident in chief, I can't even bring myself to call him president because he just doesn't seem very presidential to me at all. He has a lot of issues, and they've dug themselves a hole because of who they pander to. They can't get rid of the vice president because then they're dumping a female of color, and that is going to look bad to that base of people they want the support of. So they're pandering for support because they have nothing to stand on. They have 4 years of a really bad run. I mean, if you lived here for the past 4 years, it has not been a good go. And it's unfortunate that the only other option we have is to go back in time to Donald Trump. Will he make things better? He promises he will, but that's what politicians do. They promise things. They always promise things.
Yeah.
So you can never trust them. That's the one thing you can count on, is like you can never trust them to fulfill the promise that they actually promise. So I think we're kind of screwed. It almost feels like Groundhog Day, the movie with Bill Murray, where you keep waking up and reliving the same day over and over and over again. It all remains to be seen. I think that the Democrats have a real problem on their hands. They don't know which stance to take on the Israel-Palestine situation. They don't know how to get themselves out of the hole they've dug. And I don't think they can. I think, that special report that came out that said that, Biden definitely took stuff when he was a vice president and it was absolutely against the law, but they're not going to charge him because he's not mentally fit enough to stand trial. What do you say to that? you know. So it's really it's really interesting. It's sad that this is where we're at. I don't think any of this is organic. I think, that's just my personal take on things. I think we're watching.
Brother, sorry to interfere you.
Yeah.
Our ex-president, he took so many government documents, so many,
Mm-hmm.
in his private Mar-a-Lago complex in Florida. So he have a lot of investigation. He have a January 6 investigation. He have a Georgia voting, wrongdoing, wrong word, wrong place, another investigation. And he have a New York State tax fraud and some sexual harassment investigation and judgment.
And yet
Also,
his support grows and grows and grows and grows.
exactly. So where are we are? Both guy is did a lot of criminal activities. This is the crime. Federal government document, federal government, people's document. You took is your private place, and you try to sell it or writing the book or whatever you like to do. But who American people going to vote for? You know,
It depends on what color your hair is.
Yeah, yeah,
If you
you
have
know.
blue hair, you're voting for Biden no matter what.
yeah. That's
But
very
This
well
is
said. Yeah.
like a new things right now for American eyes. The Chinese Oriental American citizen, one of the Justice Department counsel, Robert Hoore.
mm-hmm.
Robert Hoore, he gonna be investigate our President Biden, his criminal doing. Whatever he did, past and current, he gonna do the all investigation. What do you think, Mr. Morgan?
Well, to touch back on a couple of things you said, um, the differences, as far as I understand them, between Biden taking documents and Trump taking documents is that Biden took documents when he was a vice president, so he does not have the ability to take top secret documents as a vice president of the United States, where Trump, as president, does have that ability and that leeway to do so. I'm not saying that any of this is kosher. What I'm saying is, like, as far as my understanding of the breakdown and the differences of the cases, that's a fairly significant difference. One is allowed under law, one is not allowed under law. The Georgia case, now, personally, I am one of those people that think that there was a lot of trickery afoot in the 2020 election. I'm not sure we would have been any better off had it gone in a different way. But from what I've seen and the spikes in vote counting, it smells bad. It smells like 5-day-old fishing. And now the case they're bringing in Georgia is a very interesting one because, Trump constantly says witch hunt, witch hunt, witch hunt. Well, we start seeing that these people are highly corrupt people. The Fannie Willis case is incredibly interesting. And she is a corrupt DA who ran on getting Trump, just like Letitia James in New York ran on nailing Trump. Is that why you're being put in that office? No, you're put in that office to uphold the law, not to go after one particular.
Office is under oath for the peoples.
Right,
People's right, people's. Not
right,
not hate, not you don't like it. That's why you're gonna put him in the jail. No.
right.
Whatever
You're there to
Bible,
do the job.
under oath, you take the Bible. And
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna do the job of the Constitution, United States of America. Whatever the rule of law.
Right.
But probably when you are in the chair, you making your own law. God knows,
And you're getting paid at the same time.
exactly. You get paid for the lefty or some other organization or some special interest. God is watching, and I hope American people gonna vote for someone neutral, independence. Right? This is the right time to someone coming from independence. What do you think, Mr. Robert?
I don't think an independent has any chance.
No?
There was a time that I was really pulling for RFK Jr. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I'm a libertarian. But from what he was talking about, he seemed like a very good step. That to me, you're either stepping in a load of bull crap or a load of horse crap if you vote for Biden or Trump. I mean, either way, you got crap on your shoes. And I would like to find a way to step out of the crap and step on a solid piece of ground. I don't know if that really exists. I don't think RFK Jr. has a chance to win. You're talking about this is the clash of the Titans, and he's not a Titan. So I think he's a good shot for a VP, and maybe in 2028 he'd have a good shot at it. Now I think it's over. We have our two choices, and you just you got to go. You either sit it out and say I don't want this on my conscience, and I'm not going to vote for anything, or you go and you make your choice and you live with it.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Kumar from India, do you have any voice for our democracy in America? You've been
Yeah,
studying over here.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. What I feel is that uh, the government in the states is not only making the regulations or the policies for the states, but it also drives the geopolitics in a much bigger way. And I think the people should come and realize the power of the democracy to field more competent leaders who have a good background, have no any criminal records, and because what I believe is that if the water at the top is pure, you will get the clean water at the bottom. But when something is very dirty at the top, you cannot expect something good is going to happen at the ground level. So we need to bring out some such kinds of leaders who have some kind of vision or some kind of a spark or some kind of energy in that they want to bring in the society. And this is where I think the democracy can be more meaningful.
Very good, very good. Mr. Todd, Mr. Robert Hoore, he is the special counsel,
Yeah.
President Biden. What do you think?
It sounds like politics as usual.
Yeah, it has become a cyclic in nature. So 5 times I am in the power. Next year you will be. After next 5 years you will be in the power, and
You
even
know,
the parties,
yeah,
those who seem that they are like the enemies, but in reality, what happens like they are the friends. And at the end of the day, the people who actually suffers. And you know how the media houses are controlling nowadays. Like it's a
Uh-huh.
very cyclic process, I would say. Yeah.
day one president came in the power, he have an investigation from FBI director, CIA, to everyone, all cyber security to all department. But still, almost 8 years, 4 years he was a president. He is on investigation, or also in the Congress and Senate impeachment, and same drama still our American soil, current president, allegation, fraud, so many things. I don't know. Our politician, they are sincere, fair, truthful for their under oath, you know, or they are just bullying with American voter. Mr.
Yeah.
Morgan,
Yeah.
It's very hard to tell exactly what's going on. I think there is a lot of I want to use the word ruse I think there is just there's a lot of sleight of hand magic happening. It's 3-card Monty in Times Square, on 42nd Street. It's like, find the stone under the card and you always lose, right? Because the hand is too fast for the eye. And again, you always have to take one step back. So we as citizens get to see the political strife and the political situation. If you can remove yourself from that and look another level higher, it even beyond the strife in other countries, what you see is a giant network of profit sharing. And that is, as Todd had said at the top, we were going to talk about the military-industrial complex, and you really, it comes down to that, is that, war makes profits. And when you have these people who only care about profits, they don't care about sovereignty of nations, they don't care about borders, they don't care about healthcare, they don't care about anything except losing $1 in profit. And when you can look at it from that perspective, you see there will never be an end to war. There will never be peace, because then that stops their entire profit margin. It's the same thing with oil and gas. I mean, you're never going to get rid of these things, because even though they've been proven to be other ways of making energy, whether it's the water car or Tesla, there's so much out there, but you're dipping into someone's pockets. And that person has the ability to slap you really hard for getting into their pocket. And so we have to find a way to not let these people have the influence on our geopolitics, to not instigate problems between countries that probably wouldn't. Now there are ancestral quabbles. They are people that just do not like each other, and they will never like each other. And you're not going to fix that, but you don't need to lean into it and aggravate that rash and make that scab bleed, and remind them constantly, oh, you hate each other. And by the way, here's some weapons. You can pay us later. That's kind of what we have happening, even in the United States. I mean, it's, if they keep us occupied with the BS left, right, Democrat, Republican, who's who, you don't get a chance to really see that it's two wings of the same bird, and it's a crappy bird. It's not even a good bird. It's not a majestic bird.
And Dr. Cornell West said it is Pharaoh coming from both sides.
But
Yeah.
Todd, do you have any idea?
Other than an independent candidate for November?
Yes.
Todd Goldfinger for president.
Yes.
Exactly.
God bless you.
Todd have to have, and he have to have a voice, and he have to do the right things, right voice, every corner in America, every cities, counties, village, everywhere. Yes. Presidency is very tough job. Hope Todd, he gonna get some experience, and one day we like to see him in our super hero and so-called White House.
Thank you.
Mr. Kumar and
Yes,
Todd
sir.
and our good friend Morgan, we are going to short break again. Please stay with us. Viewers in America and around the world, please watch the editorial every single week. Our New York studio, this is Tofadar Noor. Please watch all iOS and Android device and all smart TVs and Apple, Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Globally, we are on Verizon Satellite. And we have another platform called podcast. You can watch live and you can watch our videos, subscribe, whatever you are. Our website, millenniumnews24.com, millenniumtv24.com. Please watch the editorial. We're gonna bring your voice, your rights, your vote. Politics, religious, multicultural, multi-religion. Thank you. Stay with us. Panel and my co-host, Mr. Todd, Morgan, Kumar, welcome back again. The editorial. We're going to talk about the global issue now. Uh, Eastern Europe to all the way South America, West Africa, North Africa, East Africa, South Africa to Middle East, Southeast Asia to all the way Central Asia, Middle East. Crisis, crisis, crisis. You know, these days in Ukraine, another platform for our Western nations, NATO's member, use the field of platform to fight with another empire called Russian Empire. Mr. Morgan, do you have any clue this war and this is the country of Ukraine where gonna be and what gonna be happen and what is going on every single day?
I know people are dying every single day, and that's a tragic shame because this didn't need to happen, and it didn't need to go on as long as it has. What you have is a country that is not a perfect country by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly not a free country, and I'm talking about Russia. That has also been provoked by NATO constantly, with a constant encroachment of NATO missiles along its borders. And I think Russia, for its part, love it or hate it, has shown restraint in how it's reacted to what is a proxy war. I mean, Ukraine as a country right now is basically a hand puppet with the hand of the American corporate institution inside Ukraine. We are fighting this war by proxy through Ukraine. Why do we feel this is? I mean, and when I say we, I'm not including myself. I'm saying the American military-industrial complex is doing this. I don't really know what they stand to gain. Why they feel like they want to provoke Russia, who is not a country to be provoked lightly. Russia is no slouch when it comes to mega weapons. And they're also not a country that has been affected by the woke virus. Their fighting force is one that'll whip the butts of pretty much every fighting force around the world. And our military, unfortunately, right now is not up to the task. And I never want to see our military fighting Russia in Ukraine. I think it's a really, really bad idea. I think Zelensky has been put in place. I mean, let's not forget he was playing the piano with his male member before he was a president. He was a comedian, and I don't think necessarily that being a comedian or an entertainer bars you from entering into politics. What I'm saying is that I have a sneaking suspicion that this man has been put in that place and is acting a completely different role. Basically, he gets his marching orders from the State Department, and I still haven't figured out exactly why they want to do this, but they're doing it, and they won't come to the bargaining table. There's many offers to come to the bargaining table, and they won't do it, which to me just seems foolish because they can't win. Ukraine can't win. The only way that they have any chance of winning is with us stepping into the war, and we have no reason. We don't need to be doing that. So it's an ongoing issue. I don't think we should be sending billions and trillions of dollars of aid over there. And at the same time, we kind of provoked all this, so maybe we have a mess to clean up as the United States. I don't really know. It's a very convoluted issue.
Mr. Morgan, I'm gonna give you a hands up. Like you, of course, and you remember the Cuban missile.
Sure.
Right now, Russia putting another so many missile in by Cuba. They buy the island from the
Hmm.
Cuba, Russia and China. You know that?
I've heard that. Yes.
So we are putting someplace and proxy war, use the plot land and plot from Ukraine, and they're gonna use our border 80 miles away from the Florida coast
Hmm.
of Florida. So what gonna be happening in America?
It's you're right. I mean, it is almost a carbon copy of the Cuban Missile Crisis. My question that I would want to follow up with, looking at timelines, is who got close to whose border first in this current round. I know that NATO has been pushing Russia on their borders for a long time. Not I don't know how long Russia and China have been setting up missiles in Cuba. Obviously, that is not good. We don't need that, and definitely China worries me quite a bit. And I don't want them to be there. They don't need to be there. But I mean, from their perspective, just trying to think freely here, you can see where if we're going to do this to them, well, then they're just going to circle back around and put missiles on our border and say, hey, if you try anything funny, guess what? There goes Jacksonville. There goes Atlanta. It's all power plays, and I don't think that we don't need to keep pushing them. If they will back off, then we should back off.
You know, in Middle East, since September 11 to as of today, we're not going to see any peace. We see people dying.
Mm-hmm.
Every since Iraq, Syria, Libya, Yemen, Ethiopia, Sudan, Mali, Gambia, to all the way Rwanda, you know, so many African nations, so many Asian nations. What our NATO's member, European members, and Western countries want from peoples in Middle East, Africa, South America, Eastern Europe. They don't like these people or they don't want these people run their peaceful world. What?
I think they want those people to die. I think if we're talking end game, the Western people have been subject to, I would say, very subtle mental conditioning over the past 50 years. And the folks in a lot of the countries that you mentioned have not had, you can call it a benefit or a curse of modern technology for the same amount of time. And those people are much more bound to protect and stand and defend and believe in their right to exist in their country and their way of life. And they are seen by the global profit elite as a hindrance, a road bump. There has been much talk by the WEF and many other organizations of overpopulation. And they're not counting themselves in the numbers that need to go. It's always, Africa or India, all these countries or these continents are so overpopulated, but they're never counting themselves. So I think the end game for these places is, or just a pure reduction in population. And then, of course, they get to roll in and take all the valuable resources that only exist in these continents. It's a giant game of bloody chess, and these people they need to be stopped. I don't really know how to do it, but they don't do anybody any good except themselves. They're only lining their pockets.
Mr. Kumar, do you have anything to say regarding our European Union, NATO's, and Ukraine to Middle East to all the world crisis?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's really disheartening that so much of autocracies has been created on the human life, whether it's like the Ukraine or the Syria. But the very purpose of the global institutions that we are having, like the United Nations, NATO, or any other global organizations are there, so their existence is being questioned. Like we are facing such kind of situations in
Don't
21st
don't
century.
talk about the United Nations. United
Yeah.
Nations
Yeah.
is one of the
Yeah.
White House living room.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So so
simple is that.
I mean, yeah, I mean
United
to say
Nations
that, like,
is not
yeah.
working for peace.
Yeah. So my point is that, like, you must have heard about the butterfly effect. Like, if some kind of effect is happening in the Ukraine or the China or the Syria, I think that the way the entire politics, the global politics is going, I think that it might be the entire humanity might have to account for it, or it might have to cost for it. So we need to be better prepared, and we should be having the leaders who try to bring the peace in the world and try to solve the problems and try to do the investment in the humans, because human is the biggest asset for any country, like whether it's the states or the Ukraine or the Russia. And we should try to bring more creativity among the people and make them more empowered, make them more self-reliant. And we should work on making the framework where the ease of business should be much easier, and where people's like the people from the India can do a business with the people from the Pakistan. Only then we will be able to solve the bigger challenges that the humanity is facing in our society right now.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Mr. Todd,
Yes,
you
sir.
are thinking every single day for working for the people in America. You know,
That's right.
do you have any clue where are we are and what we are doing in American politics, global
We need a
village?
new generation. We need a new generation of thought leaders and people who have the lived experience to know that everything's going to be okay. And just like President Biden said about the North Star, having North Star and having Polaris is important. And when you have this Polaris, this North Star, and this belief and this trust within the American people, and saying we haven't reached our full potential yet, and maybe with the help of some entheogenic medicines that have been around for um, such a long time, that if we can heal and cure ourselves, we can cure and heal our great nation and heal the world, because it begins with us, I would say.
Excellent. Our time almost end. Mr. Morgan, your last word for the peace, love, and happiness month of Ramadan for the world community, humanity, whatever we are. Last
My
word, sir.
my last words would be to remember that even in the heat of discourse and disagreement, that we all began as light before we entered this human body, and we will all exit to light when we exit this human body. And to not get confused with the experiences we have and the religions that we choose or are given to us, or the geographical locations we come from. None of that is important as remembering we are all points of light from the same source of light. And to fight each other is pointless. There are people in this existence that do deserve to be fought, but they're not the ones that you're told that you need to go fight. They're the ones that are doing the telling. And just keep your wits about you. And just keep love for your your enemies or for someone that you disagree with. Try not to be filled with hate and anger.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Kumar, last word, sir. Peace, love, and happiness for Mahe Ramadan, month of
Yeah.
Ramadan.
Yeah. Yeah, so my all the well wishes for the Ramadan, brothers and sisters. And I wish that we, in the 21st century, we rise above the basic necessities for the human life and have and provide a good quality of life to each and every member of the society and reduce the economic disparity and have a very sustainable coexistence where we can exist peacefully with our neighbors, our nature. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Todd. Same question, my brother.
Yes, we need peace
Last
on earth.
word.
God bless you wherever you are. Thank you for watching. Thank you for having us all on Millennium News TV. It's been an honor and a privilege, and thank you wherever you are.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Viewers in America, around the world, we are ending our show, The Editorial. Please watch Millennium News 24, all iOS and Android device. And we are on all branded smart TVs and Roku, Amazon, and Apple TV. Globally, we are on Horizon Satellite. Locally, we are on all cable network. And we have a videos live podcast, Millennium News 24 TV. And our website, millenniumnews24.com, millenniumtv24.com. And our social media address, Millennium News 24. Our YouTube channel address, Millennium News 24 and News Channel M24. X and Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, Millennium News 24. Viewers, our colleague, friends, IT, broadcaster, editorial board, program editorial, so many department, reporters, hosts, presenters, everyone working for you. Watch Millennium News 24 and whatever stay, we are grateful our colleague and friends, their hard work. Last word, whatever you are, stay peace, love and happiness and take care for right now. Stay safe.